Hi everybody, my name is 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓪. Today I will be presenting my research educational project called Improving Geometry's Abilities in English Language Subject through a Speaking Skill in first grade at Mi Mundo Feliz School. I started my practical teaching first at 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓽 School, but because of the COVID-19, I had to change institution. Then I continued my practical and research project at Mi Mundo Feliz School. Mi Mundo Feliz School is a kindergarten located in 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓽 with an economic strata 4. It has preschool and primary school. It's a private educational organization, bilingual, English and Spanish, committed with the 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓽 culture, which emphasizes the educational process on the training of human beings. There are 12 teachers, 11 in preschool and 1 in primary school. In total, there are 83 students, 72 in preschool and 11 in the primary section. One of the problems found at the institution, and specifically in the math class, is that children do not have much access to a variety of activities to help them to keep their interest in the course. Speaking is not promoted because the children are mostly required to complete all the exercise in the guidebook, leaving this ability aside. Therefore, students have lack of motivation and they lose attention quickly in the geometry class. The research question for this project is, how can geometry activities improve first grade student speaking skill in English? The general objective that is going to be developed is to improve geometry abilities in English subject in first grade through speaking skills. The specific objectives are, first, to determine the first grade students' use of English vocabulary in their oral interactions. Second, the develop a skill through didactic guides in geometry. And the last one is to verify the acquisition level of the progress of a speaking skill through the teaching of geometry in the English subject. For the theoretical background, Barwell in 2008, in his project ESL in the Mathematics Classroom, this research project was made about how can educators support ESL learners to succeed in mathematics even as they are learning English. In addition, one of the questions to develop is, what role does language play in learning mathematics? With the affirmation, the myth that mathematics transcend language is detrimental to the interests of ESL students. He showed through this research that it's possible to mix language and mathematics, and the students are not going to lose interest in the class. On the contrary, this can motivate students to learn mathematical meaning by interacting with teachers and students in their own culture. In addition, it was found that ESL encourages students in the mathematics classroom to be beneficial for the quotidian and scholar life. Rinsfeld and other authors in 2016, in his research project solving arithmetic problems in first and second language, does the language context matter? The aim of the investigation was to offer new concepts into the role of language context in mathematics knowledge and, more specifically, solving arithmetic problems. They presented the arithmetic problems in different conditions, first with semantic meaning and second without additional context in German. The authors observed that in the French area, it was evidence that the student did the addition faster with an additional language context. However, in German session, the context did not do any effect. It means give a language context help to improve arithmetic performances in the second instruction language of the participants. For the theoretical framework to carry out this project, it was taking into account 5 categories: language, speaking skill, communicative competence, teaching geometry in English, and teaching and learning process for kindergarten. Talking about language, 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓽 and other authors in 1889 says that language is many things: a system of communication, a medium for thought, a vehicle for literary expression, a social institution, a matter of political controversy, and a factor in nation building. Referring to a speaking skill, when people began studying a second language, you all have the need to communicate with others in different situations, whether at home, at work, at social meetings, at school. However, few are able to define what that process of speaking is. According to Brown 1994 and other authors, speaking is an interactive process of constructing meaning that involves producing, receiving, and processing information. It means we are always socializing our thoughts through language in a spoken form. In the communicative competence, Brown in 2007 says the communicative competence is the capacity that all children acquire in order to be able to function in the daily interpersonal exchange. Meyers in 2005 in her article, Language is the Mathematics Classroom, mentions the increasement in the interest in studying language is mathematics, suggests that there are various strategies that we as a teacher can use to support students to move from everyday language into mathematics register. In the methodology, the type of study is a qualitative research. The research method is action research. The participants are students of first grade. They are 11 students, 8 boys and 3 girls. Their age range between 5 and 6 years old. The majority of them come from neighborhoods that belongs to 3, 4, and 5 social strata. In the instrument, we have an interview, a questionnaire that are the diagnostic stage. Also, workshops and questionnaires that are for the action stage, and a final interview for the evaluation stage. The methodology is divided in 3 parts: diagnostic stage, action stage, and evaluation stage. In the diagnostic stage, we did a recording of student voices with the purpose of analyzing the difficulties that they are having to identify, pronounce, and recognize flat and solid shapes, learning geometry in a second language. It was found that students use more their mother tongue, Spanish, more than twice as often they use English to express their ideas, to participate, give an opinion, or ask questions. Also, it was done a survey to get to know the activity and preferences the students while learning geometry. It was found that they like watching videos, ludic activities using modeling clay, cutting and paste, and coloring. This action stage was made through the use of 4 workshops in order to improve speaking skills in the geometry class. Although all the workshops were virtual, those were created with the children's needs in mind. In the first workshop, students will enrich their vocabulary by learning other flap shapes by identifying objects similar to geometric figures. They identified shapes by the size, corner, and vertices by means in a playful activity in which they had to speak. In the second workshop, the aim is to make a detail in order to develop a little bit more the skills of listening and speaking through guides and didactic exercise to improve communication skills. They had to draw using flap shapes according to the instruction in order to see a final draw and see if they have a good listening. In the third workshop, they learn a new type of shape called solid shapes. Saying the meaning, at the end, they must tell what solid figure the image shown look like. And they should also find objects around their houses that has the shape of a solid shapes. In the fourth workshop, it's about flat versus solid shapes, and it was held in order to verify the level of acquisition of the progress of speaking skills through the categorization of flat and solid shapes on the students. In the evaluation stage, a second audio recording was done in the geometry class in order to verify the acquisition level of the progress and improvement of the speaking skills. In the results, it was found that there was a great improvement of the speaking skills in terms of geometric shapes that made it difficult for them to pronounce. Not only they improved their pronunciation, but they also could describe it in a very detailed way and identify objects with those shapes. It was found that the students felt more motivated to participate in the geometry class since different mechanisms were used to make the class more fun and, of course, obtaining a significant learning. The students learned to relate the geometric figures with the objects that they can find around them, with the teacher's explanation and the virtual teaching guides, so that they not only learn for school but also to apply to their lives. In the conclusion part, in the evaluation stage, it was found that the students significantly improved the speech ability in a remarkable way, since the students in each workshop used less Spanish during the class and began to use more English to communicate and to participate during the geometry class. This was obtained thanks to the support of the teacher and the teaching of mathematics in English through playful and fun activities that allowed them to have a significant learning. Speaking skills were developed much more through didactic strategies such as dictation, and students demonstrate that they not only improve speaking ability but also listening comprehension. The students improve the speech through significant use of didactic material and the support of the teacher of the communicative use. It was verified that the students made a great progress in acquisition and speaking skill through teaching geometry in English. This was obtained using different strategies, and at the same time, the student obtained an optimal result. These are some of the references used during this project. Here are some of the pictures of workshops results. Thanks to my family, thanks to my friends, thanks to my advisor 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓽, to my teacher 𝓘𝓷𝓰𝓻𝓲𝓪, and to my teachers at 𝓐𝓵𝓮𝓰 University for helping me during this process.